you and good afternoon. Is everyone having a good day? Yes. And by the way, I must say, what a fantastic choice Peter Whittle was as my deputy. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great to be back here in the southwest, which has really been the centre or the heart of Euroscepticism for many years. Indeed, it's been the very beating heart of UKIP, and I've been a regular visitor over the years. I've spoken on numerous occasions within the region, whether that's been at the national conferences in Torquay or your regional conferences in Torquay, and it's great to be here in Weymouth today. I'm going to start by taking on the elephant in the room. It's been a difficult few weeks for UKIP in the media. The Stoke by-election was a bruising experience for me personally, and indeed for the party. We did not get the result that we wanted. We went in to the by-election. We knew we were never the favourites to take the seat. In fact, the bookies always had us behind, but we thought that we could claw that 5,000 Labour majority back. The campaign also wasn't perfect. But let's put this into perspective. We cut Labour's majority in half. We finished second. We forced two Remain candidates, the Labour Party candidate and the Conservative Party candidate, who were both backed Remain prior to the referendum. They came out for Brexit during the by-election. So although we did not win the seat, we certainly set the agenda. But the underlying problem, and the real reason that we did not win, is because the Tory vote did not come to us in the numbers that we expected. It did not budge. And with hindsight, that shouldn't surprise us, because Theresa May is going through probably the longest honeymoon period in modern politics, because she's very good and always has been at talking the talk. And indeed, if you look or listen to her speeches recently, she could be giving those speeches at a UKIP national conference. But the one thing that we know with Theresa May is that she's never very good at walking the walk. Her time as Home Secretary should tell us this. Simply ask the Police Federation. Look at her position when it came to tackling radical Islam. Look at her record on immigration. She was the Home Secretary that told us we would get immigration figures down to the tens of thousands. In her last year as Home Secretary, a city the size of Newcastle upon Tyne came to this country. 335,000 people net. It is not good enough. The proof is in the pudding. And I predict, once Article 50 is invoked, and the talking the talk stops, and the walking the walk begins, Theresa May will fail once again. And this is why it is so important that UKIP is strong. We must be the guard dogs of Brexit. We must ensure that Brexit really does mean exit. And we must hold the government's feet to the fire. And we must say to them, if you barter away our fisheries, we will be there. If you backslide on a membership fee, we will be there. And if you try to wriggle out of doing away with freedom of movement, UKIP will be there. It is clear to me, as clear as night follows day, that Theresa May will backslide, that politics will return to our turf in the coming months. But for now, UKIP needs to stay on the pitch to reap the rewards. We need to hold our nerve. Now is not the time for panic or knee-jerk reactions, and now certainly isn't the time for navel-gazing or infighting. Now is the time for cool heads, for forward thinking and careful planning. We have a large but not insurmountable task ahead. Please remember, when I took over this party on November the 28th, it resembled a jigsaw that had been tipped onto the floor. We started the process of putting it back together, and over the coming months we will continue to do so. Internally, there will be constitutional reform on the table, a major reorganisation of regional structures and a fresh rebrand for a new era. The party will also be working on a new policy platform. And I want to make this absolutely crystal clear for everyone, not just in this room, but those watching online as well. Under my leadership of UKIP, UKIP will lose none of its radicalism. It will remain a radical political party. There will be no rush to a clustered centre of British politics. We will continue to talk about the issues that the other parties either neglect or don't want to talk about. We will push not only for an Australian points-based system, but also an aptitudes and attitudes test. So if, for example, you think FGM is okay, you're not coming into this country. If you think honour violence is okay, you are not coming into this country. If you think forced marriage is okay, you are not coming into this country. People should sign up to British values and the British rule of law. We will continue to talk about the ring-fenced foreign aid budget. We will slash it. It's bloated. It's a disgrace, actually. And we will reinvest that money back into the NHS, because we in UKIP are never ashamed to say that charity begins at home. We will also campaign for a new council house building programme so working people can have affordable rents. And we will also ensure that the 7,000 veterans that slept rough last night have a roof over their heads. Many more new radical policies will be fleshed out over the coming months and the summer, and will be announced at the annual conference in the autumn. I've read this week in many news outlets that UKIP is in crisis. Well, I'm an old hand at this. Many of you have known me for many years in the party. In fact, I've been a member for 13 years. And I've read UKIP's obituary. It must be over 100 occasions. And we've always come back. We're a bit like a boomerang, aren't we? You throw us away and we always come back. And we always come back stronger than before. Is this really a crisis that we're in now? I remember the real crisis that we went through back in 2006 to 2008. It was a time when we weren't even appearing in opinion polls because we were below 1%. It was when we didn't have even one single councillor across the country. It was when membership had fallen to about 13,000 and was going down every single month. It was when we were regularly losing our deposits at by-elections. Well, let's put this crisis into perspective. Last weekend we were 15% in the polls. That's up on when I took over as leader. We've stood in 3 parliamentary by-elections since I became leader. We have finished second in 2. Membership is also holding steady. We have 500 councillors working hard across the country. We have over 20 MEPs. We have an MP in Parliament. We have 9 AMs working hard in the assemblies. This is not a party in crisis. This is a party which is on the move and looking to the future. And by the way, since I arrived back from my break after the Stoke by-election, I have come back to a commitment from a consortium of the party's biggest donors, led by Alan Bowen and Stuart Wheeler, who have gave a commitment that the party will be financially secure for the foreseeable future. Last November, I was elected with the biggest mandate ever received in this party. My call for unity in November resonated then, as I'm sure it resonates now with our membership. And I want to make one thing perfectly clear. Bringing people together and asking for unity is not a sign of weakness. Bringing people together to look to the future, to work hard for this party, is a sign of strength. We have a big set of elections coming up in May, and history teaches us that people do not go out and to vote for divided parties. So therefore, we have a duty to come together and to work together for the greater good, not only for our party, but also for the country as a whole. So, colleagues, friends, UKIP brothers and sisters, the future is bright. We have a Tory party which I am convinced will begin to barter away and backslide on Brexit. We have a Labour Party led by a man who refuses to sing the national anthem, that wants to give the Falklands back to Argentina. We have a Shadow Chancellor who has said nice things about the IRA. We have had a Shadow Home Secretary who seems to think that mentioning Brexit is somehow racist. They will let down working class people in the future. And both the Tories and the Labour Party must be aware that a strong, professional, united UKIP will be there to hoover up their votes in the future. We must get ready, ladies and gentlemen. We must come together. We must plan. We must professionalise, because the future really is bright for our party. Now, there's been many a doomsayer this week. Many people have asked questions about the future of UKIP and what it will stand for. Well, let me just say this. We are a radical political movement. Our membership is still way above 30,000. This membership will grow when politics comes back onto our turf. All we have to do is to hold our nerve, stay on the pitch, stay in the game, stop the infighting, and the future is bright, the future is purple. Thank you very much.